North said. So I'm the chair of the Metro Coalition in Iowa, 10 largest cities in Iowa. And probably, and I've been doing this city council mayor thing for a long time, since working on it 16 years. At no time have we had such a discussion in the state that is affecting revenue as we are having now. To tag what Mayor Gallagher said, and this is universally discussed, no matter your political persuasion or not, Republican, Democrat, and Independent, that when you did stuff with other taxes, there was discussion about, but now it's property taxes. And property taxes go directly to the general fund in every city and county. It is, I won't say unanimous, but universally accepted by at least the folks around here, and certainly the Metro Coalition, and other places, that because property taxes go directly to general fund, and 70% in Davenport of the general fund is public safety, you are forcing city councils, the 640 cities in Iowa, and certainly the Metro Coalition that I represent as the chair, as Mayor Gallagher said, to have discussion about where we're cutting. Just the multi-res change to residential. I understand that you wanted to fix a problem that was adjusted and didn't happen. All we asked is that you give us some time to adjust our budgets and be able to do this. They didn't do that. They gave us 30 days instead of a year. Anybody who does budgets, and there's a lot of people sitting in this room, that's interesting when you develop your budgets over years and time, and now you have 30 days to do it. That's interesting. In Davenport, just the multi-res to res will be a $1.7 million reduction in the general fund. That's approximately 15 jobs. So I'm pausing. If you continue down the road of what you're doing, i.e. there's 2 study bills in the Senate and another one in the House, and the first one, the multi-res to res, went from subcommittee to committee to debate to vote in 2.5 days. I don't understand that you won't allow us to participate and discuss the impacts of local control, the impacts of how this affects your budget, our budget. As Mayor Gallagher said, and I know my friends over to my right here, public safety is kind of a big deal, and we'd like to increase that. We're not asking you to raise the tax, and many of us are capped in our levy. We're asking you not to reduce the funds that we have, because if 70% is public safety, that's part of the discussion. We don't want to do it, but you're forcing us to do it. So I know we have a time limit here, so I just want to make sure, and so you know that we are having the discussion, and every opportunity I can to interdict, and just, I'm not naive. I know the discussion to do this, and people say, well, I hear that old folks on Fisk income get their property tax raised, and we got to do something. If that's a problem you're trying to solve, then let us help you solve that. We understand that. But taking the amount of revenue that you're potentially taking, I mean, it's already decided about the multi-res and res at 1.7 million. That's already decided. You're taking more on the bills that are going. So what do you want us to do? So having said that, now back to Davenport, and I ask you to pay attention. So you're sitting in a wonderful casino, and you're sitting in the north part of Davenport, where over the last few years, there's almost $933 million, that's close to $1 billion, of investment. Amazon, Fair Oaks, and I'll talk about Fair Oaks here in a second, and we're talking about, as we did here, and Rhythm City did a great job of setting the table for us today. That's what we believe is important. Set the table for economic development, i.e. infrastructure. Most places, most businesses, when they're looking to come to the Quad Cities, come to Davenport, and I only speak for my city certainly, they want to know that you have a place shovel-ready, infrastructure in place and ready to go. So the forethought of the previous city councils and the current city council to have that ready, so when someone is interested in coming here, they actually will look at that. If it's, oh, well, we're working on that, maybe 10 years down the road we'll get to it, nope, they move on. 7G, Sterilite, Amazon, the largest job creation or investment in the history of Davenport, and arguably in the history of the Quad Cities, has happened in the last couple of years because of people like you at the Chamber and other businesses that set the attitude and the mindset, and elected folks and city staffs that work with the Iowa Development Authority, Debbie Durham coming to this side of the state often, working with our Chamber partners, our state partners, and our city partners to have the environment ready and the attitude that you're welcome and going. So most of this up here is now full. That 933-ish plus investment is happening. The job creation and record job creation is happening. So now we have to go west. I love to talk with my friend to the east, but he's got his area, right? So we can't invade Bettendorf and take over there. So we have to go west, right? So yes, Mr. Decker and I have discussions about that. But so we're going to go west. So we understand setting the table and having the environment ready. So building infrastructure, sewers, even though that ain't sexy and we don't see it a lot. But the streets and infrastructure and sewer are ready to go. And I want to put a plug out because I see him in the audience, a previous city council member and who's a member of the GDC, Jason Gordon, who has had the forethought in the past to have this stuff ready. That's what we do. That's what we think about, and how do we do it? Other discussions, the mall. What are we doing with that? And sometimes I have this discussion with people like, what do you mean, what are you doing with that? That's going to be probably a mega site that is going to be redeveloped or developed or something in the future, and instead of talking about it now, we actually have to act upon it and work with folks to get that to do something else, right? We know that, and we'll do that. So the downtown Davenport, $110 million investment, and all the new things that are going on there. And again, credit to Kyle Carter and his folks and our city staff. I get to sit up here and be proud of telling you guys about this stuff, but again, the attitude of the city staff, the attitude of partners like the Chamber and the Downtown Partnership and the staff to understand you have a willing and able partner in the city of Davenport